The Quarriers homes, that's right.
Where your dad had lived.
They've been built as a residence in Fairknowe by the gentleman who built it after his ancestral.
No, my father came in 1915.
So he's not in that.
No, he's not in that.
Good. I got you in the shade here. No, I don't know why. No. Let's try this way here. See what happens.
Am I in the shade?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting, I'll zoom right in and then,
Okay.
oh yeah, that's much better. So, that was nice meeting you.
Good.
She said she was coming. I can't hear very well.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, sorry.
It takes me a while.
That's not didn't bother me at all. My ears.
I'm surprised.
Where's the church?
Oh, look at that.
There's a pretty garden.
Yeah.
Nothing's open yet. It's the longest trip you've done. No. All the way across Canada.
Vancouver was pretty long. It was 5 hours.
Oh, you flew all the way up there?
Then we came back by tour to Calgary.
Oh.
We got there 3 hours early or later than we, yeah. Look at the big trees. They're old. That's old, eh?
Oh, 2 hours to go home.
I'll check in and then go for breakfast. Phone book where I am, see if I find it. So look today, and I found 3. I wrote down the names and phone numbers. Yeah, you should for sure look and see This is Quarriers Home. Lady all her baby
Roads are all our freeways. And we've just moved off the M8 onto an A-class road. Basically, the route we're taking now is the route to Quarriers Village. This is quite popular. Yes. Driver in Scotland. I think confident is the word. Yeah, we're walking around the back. Good. So, well, if you could possibly invite yourselves, perhaps there's table 8, so perhaps 5 of you perhaps could move through in there, and we'll try and get a Quarriers person onto each of your tables. Is that feasible? Would people mind about you?
We're not making very excellent. You want me to take a picture of Nancy and Peter over here?
Yeah, well known for song.
Change projects and then the disability
That's right. You may have
All the time kind of round all these people up. As long as you got your coat you came with.
Yeah. Toss his hair.
Hello.
All right.
CBC's two-camera shoot.
There you go, Ron.
Yeah.
Nancy wants some help with her CBC film footage.
Two-camera.
You get your first view of Quarriers village, just going out of sight actually. You'll see it again when we go around this next corner. A couple of large grey houses in the middle distance, about a mile away, in the woods. You see them straight ahead now? That's the beginning of Quarriers village. And you can just see the church spire over the trees to the left. Problem. There's Quarriers village on the right-hand side. We call them cottages. They're really Victorian villas. But as you'll learn, each of those cottages, quite unique architecturally, housed up to about 30 children. And you can see the cathedral, Children's Cathedral, nickname in the middle of the village. It's a very pleasing architecture and very well laid out.
Beautiful, eh?
Oh no, this is an old hat.
Yeah, that's it.
He was a superintendent of the Fairknowe Home. Oh yes, we've got bits about him in our museum, you know, and photographs of him.
About 5 people turned up, and that evening we thought, well, what sort of response are we going to get? We moved on to Ottawa, and almost 50 people turned up in Ottawa, and we had a tiny little room, and people were like this. And we moved on down to Kingston, and we had, I think, about 12 people turned up, including the 2 prime guests here today. And I suppose the rest, as they say, is just history. We had the conference last year when almost 300 people turned up. And that was way beyond our expectations. Really was way beyond our expectations. So we were very pleased then, and we're very pleased now. And talking about history, when the history of Quarriers is rewritten in 20, 30 years' time, what a significant day today will be. It will be very significant. So you really are so welcome to this village. It's a beautiful village. Over the years, it's cared for a number in excess of 30,000 children. And 7,000 of that number left these shores and went to Canada. And you are the result of that. So welcome back. Welcome to Scotland. Welcome to Quarriers Village. And welcome home. Thank you.
One could not help contrasting it with the scenes from which most of the children had come, the squalid courts and lanes of our great cities and towns, to which a sunbeam seldom penetrates, and where a blade of grass is never seen, shut in by houses whose interiors are destitute of everything that we associate with the word home.
William Quarrier, a successful businessman, had been working with the street children for several years when he opened his first night refuge in the city centre in 1871. And other two shelters followed. As the demand for places continued to grow, Quarrier had a vision to create a more caring community.
For young children, but he was very specific in what he wanted. He wanted to break away from the large barrack institutions of poorhouses and workhouses. He was concerned about families. He felt that the children should be brought up with a father and mother. And so in this report, he talked about a village for 300. He spoke about cottage-style houses. He spoke about fathers and mothers to bring up the children.
Within 5 years of setting out his plan, Quarrier had achieved his goal. The generosity of the Scottish people, though, knew no bounds, and by the 1920s, the Orphan Homes of Scotland, as the village was known, was home to around 1,500 children. Sheila Patterson was just a year old when she came to the village in 1938. She has vivid memories of growing up in Cottage 8 with 30 other girls.
One thing we didn't have was the individual attention and the privacy. But then, because of the strict regime that we had, we stuck to each other, and we really had a good relationship with each other in the house. We were more like sisters. Everybody had their own job. Somebody did the dishes, somebody would do the dining room, the stairs would have to be polished or scrubbed, and then we would go to school, and that was where you had the freedom. When you went to school, you felt free, and when you came home, you would all be back just in a sort of conveyor belt way, and it was first come, first served with the drive towel.
More than 30,000 children were brought up in the village. 125 years on, the needs of children are still being met, though nowadays the charity works within their own communities. The Brockville Family Centre in Greenock was set up to provide childcare and drop-in facilities in an area of high unemployment and deprivation. In the community nursery, children from birth to 8 years enjoy both individual attention and group activities, while their parents go out to work or take a well-earned rest in the drop-in centre.
Ready for making breakfast for the rest.
Teaching independent living skills such as budget cookery is as an important part of the charity's work in the 1990s as it was over a century ago. The Stopover Project, a hostel for the young homeless in central Glasgow, provides support for vulnerable teenagers who feel the system has failed them.
This is my own independence for this is what it's all about. This is training if we go back and getting independence for once you get the right to it.
So your plans for the future then?
My plans, settle down, get a job, we'll see them and see what else after that.
The average age for a young person leaving home is 25. And often parental support, how can we expect young people at 16, 17 to go out into the world and be successful, in their own tendency? Therefore, what acts as a safety net for young people. Young people can fail and come into Stopover, and we'll start to pick up the pieces and start again. And Stopover will take young people back 2 or 3 times.
Modern day pastimes would no doubt be incredible.
It was recorded in the evening, so we saw lunchtime on. For those of you who didn't see any of it, this is what has already been on.
Press play. Press play.
Friends have been fined a total of £3,500 at the High Court in Edinburgh after going on a shoplifting tour around Scotland. A special party of from the residents of one tiny village. The group is being led by 2 of the original inhabitants who emigrated 70 years ago. Claire Dean reports. This is the first time 83-year-old Peter Graham from Ontario has been back to Quarriers village since he emigrated when he was 17. He's one of 30,000 children brought up over the years in what was once known as the orphan homes of Scotland. In the 1920s and 30s, the village was home to around 1,500 children at a time. Family life in the cottages was not just busy with schoolwork. There were plenty of chores to be done too.
As you got to be maybe 12 years of age, they had to take on the duties of looking after maybe one or two of the 7 or 8-year-olds, darning their sweaters, their socks, shining their shoes, and such, you know, bathed and kept clean.
While 7,000 children from the village emigrated to Canada to start a new life between 1871 and 1938, Peter strongly denied suggestions they were forced to go.
We wanted to come to Canada. We were anxious to get to Canada.
Why did you want to go to Canada?
Oh, I suppose because of a far-off place. And it was something exciting to think going across the ocean to a different country.
There are now over 200,000 Canadians descended from Quarriers boys and girls, a testament to the resilience of the emigrants who once suffered the stigma of being foreign orphans. This weekend, a party of 50 will learn about their roots and even do some detective work to trace the long-lost family.
My mother came back to Quarriers for the first time when she was in her 60s, and they gave her admittance form. And on the bottom of the admittance form it said other siblings, and it was written in hand, newborn baby, 6 weeks old, at home with mother, and it said her name was Clara Freeburn.
On Sunday, the Canadians will dedicate a maple grove in honor of those who once ventured forth from the village.
A busy place this weekend. That's it this Friday evening. Next week's headlines at 10:30. There's a full round-up at 8:05. The newsroom.
At this time, dear Mr. Wardle, on behalf of the Right Honourable Jean Chrétien, I wish to thank you for your invitation to be a part of the celebrations for the children from Quarriers to be held September 19. Your kindness in inviting the Prime Minister is appreciated, but unfortunately it will not be possible for him to attend due to prior commitments. As he cannot be present, Mr. Chrétien has asked me to send his best wishes for a very enjoyable and successful celebration. Signed, Jean Carl.
Didn't send any money.
He didn't send any money, but he said he'd be delighted to have Peter join the Liberal Party of Canada. In fact, we have another one signed by the Prime Minister, and this is more appropriately addressed to Jack and to Peter. This event provides you with a special opportunity to reflect upon your life in Canada and share your experiences. It also allows us to salute you for your many contributions to the development of this nation. Your pioneering and brave spirit enabled you to meet the challenges of a new life with perseverance and vigor. I am pleased to join with those who gratefully acknowledge the important role you have played in the growth and prosperity of our country. Please accept my best wishes for a memorable reunion. We have copies of the second letter for everyone back at the hotel, and I have to tell you, they're neatly rimmed in Scotch whiskey. I broke a bottle on my way here.
I think you've been sitting down long enough now. Now comes the really exciting part, which is actually going around the village, and the weather has improved. I think it's going to be very nice. The village is certainly looking extraordinarily good. And what we'd like to do on the practical side of this is to divide you into two parties. You will have two really expert guides. Bill Dunbar, who I think is familiar to most of you, at the back. Bill has been working in the village for over 30 years. He's now retired. You wouldn't notice it because he still does much what he did before he retired. He's our honorary archivist, and I think nobody knows more about the history of Quarriers than Bill Dunbar does. He will take one party round, and John Porteous, who's standing just the other side of Nancy. John, in fact, has a lot in common with Jack and Peter, because John, in fact, is a former Quarriers boy himself. He grew up in the village, and he left and came back, and is now on the staff, and has been on the staff of Quarriers for the last 29 years. And he works in Graham Biggott's Department of Corporate Services. And he is also going to, obviously knows a great deal about the village, and he's going to take you around. There'll be various others of us hanging on. As much to learn about the village as to tell you about it, because we know rather less than those two gentlemen. So I don't know how we're going to split you. I'm just hoping that when we get outside you'll sort of mingle apart into two groups of roughly equal size. If you don't, we can get the police out. So I think that's it. If you'd like to move outside now, and we'll swap things out.
No, see if we can get.
Can I just use I'm going to stick with my three.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just handy.
Now, one of the nice things about the village, as we walk, there are no two houses architecturally which is, and that's all part of Mr. Quarriers' plan of non-uniformity. In the early days, as far as fashion allowed, he did dress the children differently. After he went, I don't know what happened, because uniformity certainly came in, particularly in the houses when we had rows of beds and lockers and all had the same bed mats and things like that. But the houses certainly have their own individual features that she felt representative of children being individuals and being different from one another.
And Nellie.
That was our dad's sister. She came into the home in 1910, and then came to Canada later on. The parents had... figure out one of them.
The start of Faith Avenue, we have the house that was built for William Quarrier, and he stayed there from 1886 until he died in 1900. This is Home Reed, and was up until over a year ago the offices of the organisation.
You want to get a you didn't know. Do you want to get a picture of you and the Kerr family here? That's all right. You're fine. Go and stand over there with John and Jack and Margaret and Marilyn and we'll get a picture of you. Just see. We'll figure it out. It probably
I'll stand beside you, Margaret.
Yeah, it's just pushing it on there for one day.
Don't forget rid of the specs. Wait to get rid of the glasses.
Oh, okay, you got the glasses? Are you going to say cheese or Scotch?
I can't see you in the glasses.
Between Glasgow and Greenock.
Okay.
But he was there for the first 4 years of his life in Greenock and then to Glasgow.
That cottage for Dean was nice.
There's big bump. Big bump.
I better get off.
You didn't show me.
Are you getting that one?
There. Okay. Good. Well done. Is your house near here?
Watch it, Rocket.
Get moving.
Peter, you're doing a great job. Look at this, eh?
It's a new fashion CBC crew.
Whether they open, don't wait for open dance.
Fence up in 39. Okay, well, we stopped at the top of Truck Road. As we look up the alley, we're looking at that's over half of the village up there.
Matroon. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. When she was out to be a shop.
Yeah, there's two young ladies behind the counter who are also former boys and girls. I brought them back today to work. Two of my girls that have grown up with us, and so they're in the shop. So give it a wee quick look at the shop to allow us time to get together, okay?
A wee quick look.
A wee quick look. Once we get here, we'll
Nice to get Ron. I have to leave it. And then I watched it a minute. Just a little bit more. I've always wanted to go that night.
The builders say the bigger boys shine the little boys' shoes, darn their jerseys, darn their socks. So I would say, Joe, you see, you've got that there, a harmonica, for example. I got that one time by bargain. Joe, I'll mend your little boys' sweaters, their socks, and I'll shine the shoes for the next week. And for that most harmonica. So I got a harmonica.
So you can sell your labor, trade your labor.
Right.
For a toy.
Or my fruit.
Or your fruit.
On Sunday.
What sort of fruit did you get? Do you remember?
You only had 3. There was no refrigeration like we have today.
Right.
So it was apples, oranges, or bananas. It was what you never knew what the store was going to send for your fruit on Sunday. Now maybe each cottage didn't get an orange every Sunday. Some would get an orange, maybe some a banana, because it's pretty hard to get 12 or 1,300 oranges or bananas at one time. So they might get 200 or 300 bananas, 400 or 500 oranges, and each cottage got maybe a different fruit than the other did.
Let's see what they've got in there today, shall we? Should we see what they've got?
No, I'm going to take
you can tell me something.
No, you don't have, well, okay.
You go ahead.
Okay. When I go into the store, I would walk along inside the store, of course, along the outer wall, and the counter run parallel with the outer wall. You had a passageway through. Now the counter, the same old counter of 70 years ago, is still in there, but turned around the other way. And as soon as I stepped in that store yesterday, I said, hey, this isn't the way it was. That counter was this way, now it's that way. He said, do you remember that? I said, yes, I do. He said, well, you're right.
Yes, you can buy it there.
No, that's the Ruth.
Oh, yes, Ruth Wright wanted to
Ruth
hear.
Wright wants me to buy her a teddy bear. She collects teddy bears. She wants me to buy her one from Quarriers Village.
No,
But I need to.
If we had those young ones, there'd be no problem.
That's right, Talking already.
Yeah.
So is that where we are? Is this the little street? We crossed the bridge. Is this the stream? I think this is the stream here. Maybe. Let's go up here and turn right. Maybe this is it here.
Sure. We'll be.
I think they've got monkeys from there. They have them in... Like I mean, I have to rewind and change the film so she can...
So this is number 36.
Yeah.
This is the famous home.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gate. Bye.
I didn't... You know, I mean, all of us are happy, but, you know, I said, no, oh my goodness. I yeah, because of course there was the quality. Do you think it's children? What is this? That actually, it's the picture. Pretty children are very young. Most of them Did you get inside? No. Did you? I think I'm ready to go now. I changed my film. So, that's right. Yeah, my dad was here from 1900 to 1950.
Yes. Does he live in it now?
It's Campbell.
What's it?
Campbell.
Wood.
Campbell McWendy. What did you decide?
Oh, yes, who lives in it now?
Campbell.
Ah.
Campbell McWendy, you know in the country?
Oh, yes.
Why not, eh? One more close in. Okay, that's good.
Pretty close to center.
The house really doesn't have much to it. As we can go over it, we have. So there's about four bedrooms upstairs, all of which are roughly about this size.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how they organise the bathroom, whether we're dirty out through the back way. Into the shower room and into the kitchen, which I'll take in a minute. Liza.
That's all right. Was that fireplace there?
No, again, the changes that we've done in this, well, there was a fireplace in each of the rooms. Yes, in all the rooms there was always a small fireplace. This one actually was a particularly small one. But we've put it all back because when they put the homes really over the last 20 years, they made it safe for children. And the regulations had changed, so fires were out. They put melamine boards. We've done a lot of stuff. The cornicing's new as well, because again, coming from the background that Quarriers did come, the houses were very well made, but they were functional.
Yes.
They were there to look after children. There are only 2 rooms that had any cornicing. One on that side and a bedroom upstairs, which were for the house parents. So they had a better bedroom, small one, and also a sitting room where the folk could come in and they could entertain people that were coming in to see the houses. But the rest of the rooms, the children's rooms, and this was a particular playroom, were just plain, standard, big, clean, tidy, warm, and in the old days they would have fires on. The biggest room by far, and I have to apologise,
So this was the kitchen.
This is the kitchen. This, I have to say, has been a bit of a problem for us in deciding what to do with it.
Yes.
Because again, when we first moved in, they had tables just along that wall where they just brought the kids in, fed them. There was a range behind that middle wall. We think it was away before I came, or we came in. But the chimney was taken away as well. Probably about 20 years ago. They must have had problems with it, so they took that one away. But again, it's just the scale of a place like this.
Yes.
There's still further rooms out the back where they did all the scullery and the laundry and everything else.
Yes.
So this was functionally a kitchen. And I suspect it was probably the main room where the kids would be brought in, dressed, fed, watered, the rest in here.
We don't really know much about how the children used to live. Bill them back, probably.
Yeah, Bill's got all the plans and things for all the houses.
Yes.
That gives you some idea of the scale of
Yes.
and things on the inside. The fact that it's still known as cottages amuse us.
Yes.
This is known as Cottage 36.
Yes.
When you drive in, as maybe Tony or somebody will have explained, the houses were numbered as they were built.
Yes.
Now, that we didn't understand. We expected it to be 36, 34, 32, and so on. And most people that are delivering things expect it to be 36, 34, 32.
I'm sure.
So you regularly get people phone, kind of doing the doorbell and say, look, we're looking for cottage 28. Where is it? We've got a map that we keep handy.
Well,
we just kind of look at it and say it's on the other side of the village. How long are you over for?
We're here for a week, actually. This weekend is the Quarriers part of it, and then on Monday we do a tour of the Scottish Highlands.
All right.
So we'll go and see the monster one day, and then we see the Isle of Skye. And
as long as the weather's fine, it should be about the right time.
Yeah, it's great today.
Yeah.
So the children ate in here then?
Yeah.
Well, they did, when we got the house, it was a holiday home run by another organisation by the time we moved in. And when we came to see it, there was tables all along that wall.
I see.
But I think at some point, I mean, we don't know how this was originally laid out, because we're obviously partitioned at some point, so it may not have all been one big room at the beginning. So we don't know how really it was all...
It's too bad houses can talk.
Well, they do let out a few stories, because we do, when we've been renovating, we've done a lot of the work ourselves, and you find things underneath the floorboards.
Oh, we got that box somewhere.
It's in the back.
Hanging up.
Don't bring it all, if you just bring maybe a couple of postcards. We find, we find all sorts of different things. We find, hopefully you'll find it, a couple of things. There's a postcard of Charlie Chaplin, dating back to about 1920s, we reckon, which is almost in mint condition, but was obviously slipped down behind the leaves. And there's a postcard from a mother to a son, which is saying kind of, hope you had a nice birthday, hope you liked the tie that we sent you for the birthday. We'll try to make it out to see you soon. We'll try to get there once the smallpox epidemic is over.
Oh dear.
They can going. Again, things like that give the kids a bit of character.
Yes.
Again, because the village has changed considerably, we know a lot of the folk that have bought houses are doing them up where people have moved into the flats. Most of them know what the history of the village is about and what Quarriers is now about. because it is a unique village to live in.
I'm sure.
With people like yourselves coming in on a kind of regular basis. But we also get, because of the caring organisations that are still within the village, the population is very mixed.
Yes.
But some people find it really quite...
I'm sorry. Get your way.
But I have to say, it's very small.
Stop there.
But they find it quite strange because it's so quiet and there's these strange people, etc. But we've done enjoy it.
We found some, here's all the washing hangings. These are just things we found. Either the kids had used one of the back rooms as a photography, they did photography and things.
Oh, yes.
The children when we were here before. But we found all sorts of things like this down the back of, there used to be panelling like this in the front room and we took it out. And there's all sorts of old books and cards and like that's a Charlie Chaplin poster.
Isn't there a museum there?
Yes, Bill Dunbar looks after that.
Yeah.
That's just a field across the road.
Oh, yes.
William Lyle, don't know who he has been at some point. A postcard sent. Another one's sort of some one's children, people obviously.
That's in Greer or something.
These are just ones.
Very old. Yes.
I think I must have put the other one to that's quite in one of my art boxes, I think. So all these kind of things you find, in shoes under the floor, and the garden is full of marbles. When we were digging up a border at the front, there didn't used to be a border, and when we were digging the grass up, I don't know how many marbles we found. It obviously kids have been playing with over the years and got into the soil, and we thought, what is this? All these hundreds of marbles.
That probably things they had to play with.
Things like jacks or something. All sorts of things and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. We know nothing about these people.
No.
It's obviously been here, and we don't like to sort of throw things like that out.
No, it's very nice to keep them very, very old, aren't they? Yes.
That's right, absolutely filthy. They were under the floor for years, and this is obviously somebody's old spelling list.
Oh, yes. Spelling list.
How did they do?
No name on it.
James. Winning?
Looks like that.
Quite a lot of this stuff we suspect will be just within the last 20 years though, because there were quite a few changes in my house over the last 20 years.
That type of thing though looks...
It's 1954, I think.
Oh, 57. Oh, that's not
just been dirty under the floor.
They bought it after 1915 here. Yes. If he lived here the whole 5 years he was here. No, we weren't all day here.
Yes, that place is such a mess.
Oh.
Nice couple. Thank you.
Bye. Yes, but the roof can take No, that's right. So we don't have wood and people. Really would stand there with the wet.
Maybe
you did say camera. What's important? What are you going to do with your notes when you get back? Oh, well, when I get my films developed,
This is the Burn River. Well.
No.
The creek?
Paddy Burn or the Gopher Burn.
There's our Canadian friend, Canadian photographer.
In the church. Yeah, there are, yes, I would say so. There are 3 chairs outside, so he'll be in the church.
Oh, you're right, great.
Yep. A developer's going to keep the building, redevelop it into flats, and also build some houses around.
This is cool.
But I mean, this is a real focal part of the village and the experience of the children. And you see what it says over the door. In the glory of God, and loving memory of Sarah Abercrombie, wife of William Poulter. Gave a lot of money for school. I live in Scotland. No, there shouldn't be a fire. No, it's just fallen in. It just has been empty for so many years. retaining wall. The tile wall, so there's been vandalisation. Thieves have just let off the roof of the property.
Eight, 74 years.
There's nothing like that.
He died in 1903 as well. He died before William Quarrier, his son-in-law. Oh. Where would they be buried?
They're buried here, right here.
All of the children?
Mm-hmm.
There's one 3 months.
Yes. Yes, they came. We had a baby unit. In fact, the head office where we were first thing.
Yes.
That was a later baby unit. That was built. There's people like the matron and the superintendent, so Bill can explain exactly. He's just here.
You haven't even been inside the church yet.
No.
Look at that. 1910. You would have known that.
6 years here when nobody died. That's nice.
You didn't have as many children, I guess. Right?
Maybe not. And then they were much better. I mean, they probably have got some medications then.
30. 33. You stop and think.
Oh, are you really?
This is her ghost. That was my maiden name, was Irvin. Mary Irvin. And it looks like a C, but maybe it could be a G, too.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Mary Irvin. Oh, my goodness. I wonder if that's any relative. Hey? 19...
And then on the green belt here, there's individual layers with those people buried there. And you'll see that the last one was Cyril Logan in 1971. And you'll see he's quite young.
1 year.
Yes, and there's 3 months, 7 months, 2 months. Those are youngsters. Kenneth Smale was Down syndrome with a cardiac. Nahama McCurry and Elizabeth Kenny were both half-caste children, mixed marriages, black and white. And so the blood, the resistance to catching things like flu was very much lower, and they died of epidemic. The little stones that you see underneath the face, there we've got... Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
We've got this one here. Inside you'll find
Mayfair?
Paul Parnell. So that's the older brother of Charlotte. Oh, right. Who was serving you in the shop today. That was one of your. Yes, he was. He died when he was 16, but he had muscular dystrophy. And actually, he lived longer than the medical figure. But he was with us until he's 16 years. Charlotte was younger, and he had an older sister, Linda, so his ashes are interred here. Now over here, you'll see Isabella N. Stewart. And the Royal Air Force Association. She had been a Quarriers girl. Orange State. She came over here in 1990.
In the Canadian Legion here. Oh yes,
The deputy principal down there. But Joe's daughter. He was social worker here for a while, and they stayed in the village, and his oldest daughter died, and she's interred here.
Buried in mass graves.
Yes,
I think I'm too
yes,
far away.
yes.
That's the inside.
Yes.
What? You're talking to Ron.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yes, indeed, yes.
That's okay. Well, I think that's all right.
Another thing that people find
They left senior boys and senior girls in charge of the units while they attended the prayer meeting. I'll leave it to your own imagination to let you know what the senior boys and senior girls
They
got.
weren't having a prayer meeting, I don't suppose.
Okay.
Guess what, the church?
Sign us both, Ron?
Yes, please do.
Last river, 6 stone.
Little me. Just need a comparison. Here's my foot.
Mary's Quarriers.
Yes.
You guys went out that time.
Anything would be better. The clothes, they had boots, they had a Bible. That was very... Yeah, so it had a number of oils and stuff. Oh, Balmoral about, a couple of miles. Yeah, quite a long way. Inland? On the other side of the country, on the east side.
Up there, yeah, Prince Charles, yeah. Who did her money? I'm not sure.
Tomorrow's the church. What? Because it's one.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
That's something that I've very switched on.
Thank you. So after church, we're going to dedicate the maple trees, and then we can go to your...
On the left-hand side, the armadillo there, that's our new conference centre, just been opened. And that's the Broomy Law down there on the left-hand side of the river. And that used to be full of sailing ships going out to America and Canada. You'll find some familiar names ahead of you, the Marriotts and the Hilton. And if you go into any of their rooms, you wouldn't know which city in the world you were in.
She looks so innocent. I know, she's like that. I can't believe that. Look what she stole from the Quarriers. And as where our dad was born and where his father died and all these various things. And so we were going down, but it was this grassy area. And he said, I remember when there were tenement buildings there. Oh, excellent. Did you use that cab company? Did we give you the Yes. I think it was. It was a black cab anyway. Or was it 11 or Franklin? You want to read it's a 5-pound. It's a little wrinkled, but it has Colzean Castle or something on the back. Did you get that? Used them before. Are you guys not continuing on the tour? You guys are. I'm leaving. Oh, you Billy, you're having to say. In there.
Oh, 40, 67, 40. 40? 40 plus 2 is 42, plus how many mortals? 4.
4 words. 46.
That's 46. I think we're 2 right.
Iris Riley is not here. She's with friends.
Yeah, Iris Riley went with her sister. With her sister.
Uh-huh.
No, not her sister. Friends.
Yes. Patsy and Ruth arrived back.
Yes, we're here.
We're here.
We weren't even late.
For cheap.
So I think we've got. I think we're 2 miss.
And all those fees, all that cost them go directly to BBC. Oh.
sets of 6 people for the National White Sergeant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And ladies, Pariga, stand. Pariga, stand. Big pile number 1. And number 2. Number 1 again. And number 2. And forward to the... And Because some of you did tuning some of the dancing earlier on. But it's a very old traditional Scottish name, Tapsel Tea. We hope you're enjoying yourselves tonight. You enjoying yourself? What we want to do now is we want to get as many people up on the dance floor as we possibly can to teach you another dance. This is the Scottish version of the American line dance. This is one, can you all do American line dancing? No, well, this is your chance to learn then. This is a dance called the Virginia Reel. It comes all the way from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Have somebody here. And we're going to play some American tunes. We don't know any Canadian ones, I'm sorry. Apart from the Cape Breton things, I don't know any particular Canadian ones, so we'll play them for you. But this is a dance called the Virginia Reel, and for this we need sets of 4 couples. Okay, 4 men facing 4 ladies for the Virginia Reel. So we'll play some music, get everybody up on the dance floor. Let's see everybody out and I'll teach you this. Here we go! 16. Split up now. Okay, split up. Split up, you go that way, and turn your partner in the middle. Going here, as you do. Next lady, spin, keep doing it all the way down to the bottom. That's it, everyone else should be clapping and cheering, stamping their feet and going mad. Now we have a new tall couple. New tall couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They split up. And so it goes on all the way down the line. yourself a big round of applause and you make yourself a long rest of it. 4, 2, 3, hop, back, 2, 3, hop, out, 2, 3, up, in, 2, 3, and side together, side, back together, back, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. Fabulous! I'm going to make a lovely couple in trouser there. Folks, we're halfway there. Let's get some more people. It's far better fun with more people. You don't trust me.
That's right. I don't think
I'm hurt.
either.
Great dancers. You probably never danced. The reason I know is because I come from Stirling. Somebody has to. So, there's plenty of room up. There's a table here with nobody dancing. See this table here down in the second row? Nobody's dancing on that. Is that not terrible? Oh, is that what it is? Okay then, we'll do it with a small handful we have. That's quite disappointing, but we'll do it anyway. Now, what I'd like to do is every second lady and gentleman from where we are, can they swap places? Can you cross over? Every second. Okay? That's it. And next lady and gentleman. Okay? But remember who your partner is. Now, joining hands in your lines. Okay? You go forward towards the other people. Forward, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3. Now this is meant to be like the side. Have you seen Braveheart? You know, the Scottish people. That's as you're meant to be steering each other down here. Okay, so it's forward, 2, 3. Okay. That's it. Striking terror into the hearts of Sassenachs. Okay. Then you do that this time, but this side you hold your hands up to make arches and you go underneath them. Okay, so we'll do that again. So it's forward, 2, 3, you. 3, you. Back, 2, 3. And then this time, forward and change places. That's it, go into the arches. That's the easy bit. Okay, and we do exactly the same again. And your lines. Forward, 2, 3. Right, well, you're not really very scary yet, are you? That's pretty pathetic. Okay, and you change places again. Okay, under the arches to the next side. Now, look at the person opposite you. Do a do-si-do with them, okay? Forward towards your partner, going you again, not yeehaw. Okay? Now, turn and face the lady and gentleman that are beside you. Okay? That way. Okay? And do-si-do with them. Now, with the couple that are opposite you, form a right-hand star with your hands in towards the centre as if you've got the spokes of a wheel, and you go round for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, back into your lines, everybody apart from the top 4, okay? So you come to this side, facing that way, and your lady partner, your lady here, also facing down that way, okay? You're on that side, lady partner in one beside you here, that's it. And so if you'd like to hold her hand, and your lady partner there holding her hand now. You're going to form 2 arches, okay, between you, and you're going to run down to the bottom of the hall, okay, taking everybody's head off as they go, okay? You walk forward, back up here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you should be at the bottom by 8. Okay? That's how you do it. That's the dance. It's nice and easy. That's meant to be the bridge. Everybody's going under the bridge. Now, we're going to try it again. Remember, you're meant to be warriors fighting each other. Try and be a bit more scary than... Okay, here we go. And it's forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change places. Turn and terrify your forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change places. Okay, now do-si-do, the person opposite. Now, with the person beside you. Right hand star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you should be at the bottom. Remember and duck. This dance is also sometimes known as the Andalin because you get your head taken off. Now we're going to do once more because you're looking a bit confused. Okay, all holding hands, here we go. We're really terrifying this time. And it's forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change places. Okay, turn to face your partner. 1, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change places. Do-si-do now. No, opposite, other way. And no, do-si-do again. Now the right hand star. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back, 2, 3, 4. Get in the bridge, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're a bit slow at that. Now you're feeling confident. No. Do you want it once more, or are you okay? Once more, okay then?
We're going to be again. With the music.
Do it once more before we do it for the music, or do you want the music now? Right hand star. on, folks. Very well danced, especially that set that was down there. Fabulous. Hope you enjoyed that one. That was the Battle of Stirling Bridge. This is the entire back staff. Still one. Come on, we need a gentleman partner for the lady still behind the bar. We'll walk through just once, okay? Holding hands in your line, should be lady gent, lady gent, lady gent all the way down. And you go forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change sides. Turn and face your opponent again. And it's forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, and change places again. Okay, do-si-do, and it's do-si-do, yee-haw. Okay, do-si-do again. Right hand star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These will be faster than that. Okay, then folks, here we go with the music this time. Okay, here we go. your parlours, please. This is the last waltz.
There is another road in. Yes, it is. It's long-term patients. Here on the right, this field was where the swimming pool was built for the children. Just there, it's gone though.
Somebody else? Church.
to our visitors from Canada, members of Quarriers Canadian Association. As you know, many of the Quarriers boys and girls were sent out from here to Canada, to Brockville, Ontario. And thus the included among the party are 2 former boys from Quarriers. Jack Kerr, who was from Cottage 41. He went out to Canada in 1927, and he's been back to visit Quarriers a few times. We do welcome you back this morning, Jack. And then there's Peter Graham. Peter was in Cottage 1 before going to Canada in 1931. And this is his very first visit back to Scotland and back to the homes here after 70 years. We do welcome you both and all of you most sincerely. And we do hope that your visit will be an enjoyable and a memorable one. Now I understand that it is planned to create a Canadian garden, a maple garden here in the village, just a little part of Canada here in Scotland. And immediately after morning worship, there will be a tree planting and dedication ceremony in the maple garden. And following that, of course, when we all come back again to church, tea and coffee will be served in the church lounge. And I hope that many of you will take the opportunity to wait behind to meet our Canadian friends and have a chat together. The other notices for the week are as usual in the Sunday paper. The psalmist wrote, "It is good to say thank you to the Lord, to sing praises to the God who is above all gods, every morning to thank Him for His kindness, and in the evening to rejoice in His faithfulness." So let us praise God together as we sing our first hymn, hymn number 656, "Lord is King, lift up thy voice." Hymn 656.
Sorry. I wonder if the boys and girls would come and join me in the front of the church this morning. Out here, we've got a nice view all lined up for you along the front here, so you come and join me. And then I'm going to give you out something. Sit on the pew, sit on the seat. Space yourselves out. Room on this side. There you go. Now I'm going to give you something out, and I want you to put it on. Right? Because once you've got it on, then you'll know what we're going to be talking about. There's a little box here. I've got my box here. Right, there we go. Right, put it on. Right, there you are. There we go. Right. Right, put it on. Let's see. Right. Wonder what you think you're going to be talking about this morning? Because I'm going to give you one of these as well. Whoa. I might be getting into trouble. I'm going to give them out anyway. Okay. Right. Right. There we go. There we go. I knew you would do that as well. Right. Now, you can blow them twice, nice and loud. And again. Right, okay. You know the other one, come on. Right, there we go. Keep going, blow twice, that's it. And then you put them down, and you don't touch them again until the end of the service, right? You don't blow them again. Now what do you think we're going to talk about this morning? Parties, that's right. And there's all sorts of parties. What kind of parties do we usually have? Birthday parties, what other kind? Christmas parties, what else? Yes, right. Farewell party. You're right. And you know, on Friday night there was another party. It wasn't a day, it was from John McCollum, it was a hen's party. Imagine all the hens gathering together. There's a hen party, and they were meeting together because the person who was holding the party had something to celebrate, and they wanted to share that with their friends. And so that's what we're doing this morning, because there's all sorts of parties, because some of us were at a kind of party last night in the home. It was called a ceilidh, and the dictionary tells us that a ceilidh is dancing, singing, and telling stories. Well, there certainly was dancing, and we like our feeling it this morning. The storytelling, yeah, I believe there's quite a bit of that. There wasn't so much singing, apart from the church with the band. That's a social gathering. This is a social gathering, I feel. We're coming together because we wanted to share with our Canadian friends a little bit of Scottish hospitality. So we had something that we wanted to do to celebrate. So there are different kinds of parties and there are different kinds of celebrations. And just after this service we're going to have a celebration because we're going up to a little bit of the village and there we're going to create a maple grove so that we will be able to remember our Quarriers boys and girls who went to Canada and their families. And that's something that we, here in the village, want to celebrate. But apart from that, boys and girls, we're also celebrating this morning. We're celebrating in church. We're celebrating because Jesus came to this earth. He died for us, and then he rose again. Remember, that celebration started way back at Christmas time, when Jesus was born as a baby. And then later on, we celebrated Good Friday. Well, that might not be what we should be calling, because imagine celebrating somebody dying on the cross. But what we were celebrating was the good news that Jesus did that so that we might be free from all our sin. And then there was Good Friday, and that's a great celebration, when Jesus arose from the dead to be with us. And then Ascension, when Jesus went back to heaven to prepare a place for us. And that's great things to celebrate, that Jesus did all those things for us. So, but when we come to church, well, there's some things that we say and do in church that are a bit of a party. We don't wear paper hats for it. But a few weeks ago, when we were down in junior church, the grown-ups celebrated the Last Supper. The Lord's Supper. And there they got a little bit of bread and some wine. And Jesus tells us that the bread was his body and the wine was his blood. And we have to do this in remembrance of him. So it's a form of celebration. And when you're a bit older, you too will be able to share in that celebration. But then, parties are also associated, or gifts are associated with parties, aren't they? What kind of gifts do you think we get to church? In church? No, the gifts that we get in church are from Jesus. There is the forgiveness for our sins. There's the gift of Jesus that's rising from the dead and being with us. And then there's the blessing from God as we leave this church to know that God will be with us in everything that we say and do. So the next time you're at a party, maybe you'll give a little thought to the celebrating of Jesus, what he did for us, that he died, but he rose again, so that one day we will be with him in heaven. And that surely is something to truly celebrate about. Now we're going to sing. If you turn in your hymn books to number 99, I'm not quite sure how many will know this one. It says, come on and celebrate the gift of love. 99. Right, okay. Who's Bible student? 99, come on and celebrate his gift of love. I just will play it, you look at the words, we'll try and put it together, and then we'll try and sing it. So those who do know, when it comes to a new sing out, play it for us. big smiles on your faces. Even although you might feel a bit peeved trying to sing it, you can smile about it. Come on and celebrate. Come on and celebrate.
O Lord, I will always sing of your constant love. I will proclaim your faithfulness forever. I know that your love will last for all time, that your faithfulness is as permanent as the sky. You said, I have made a covenant with the man I chose. I have promised my servant David, a descendant of yours will always be king. I will preserve your dynasty forever.
Jesus and his disciples left that place and went on through Galilee. Jesus did not want anyone to know where he was, because he was teaching his disciples. The Son of Man will be handed over to men who will kill him. 3 days later, however, he will rise to life. But they did not understand what this teaching meant, and they were afraid to ask him. They came to Capernaum, and after going indoors, Jesus asked his disciples, "What were you arguing about on the road?" But they would not answer him, because on the road they had been arguing among themselves about who was the greatest. Jesus sat down, called the 12 disciples, and
said, "Their parents with some kind of security. A daughter provided a dowry, a son provided by the labour of his hands, the security that would keep his parents in the old age." But in his life and ministry, Jesus seems to open the door of childhood and to give a status to children that they never had before. As a young man in the temple making his own early decisions, and in his ministry drawing them into his teaching and using them not simply to make a point, but to embrace them with truth and to use them as channels for teaching truth. What was true for adults was true also for children, and vice versa. Years and years ago, when I was a student studying theology, I was asked to take part in a summer mission at Port Seaton Camp. Port Seaton, some miles